Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium healer, numerologist, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether it's through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there's always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Psychic Hour on WLTK-DB. Let's Talk Radio. Hello, it is a lovely Wednesday, and it is a reading show today, so we'll be talking for a bit, and then we will be going into some readings, whether it's numerology, psychic, or sometimes we pull cards. It's just a good time. Hello, Courtney. Hello, everybody coming in. And today's topic, I really want to focus on the body and how it works with your energetic body. So the physical body and how it works with your energetic body. And so we are in, I always like to say it, we are in a physical realm. Earth is a physical place. You have come to Earth to be in a physical body. There's physical laws. The spirit has unlimited laws potentially, but the physical has very finite laws. And we've chosen, for the people who believe that we choose lives to come in to experience lessons, we've chosen to experience finite lives for a short period. In the more extensive life of actually what we have as a spirit, we have a very finite piece of existence in certain identities that we choose. And so we have to learn about how to understand our limitations at different times in our existence as spirit. We have to learn about different skills that we have in a way where it encompasses the unique lessons that we are experiencing in those lifetimes. And so at its most basic, like think about your body right now. Like some people are like, okay, I'm totally aware of the limitations of my body. Like the basic ones, sleep and food, and if we just energy levels, right? It could be money is also an energy resource. So think about it, like where do you have ease in your energy and where do you have difficulty in your energy? And it's about kind of closing the gaps on those limitations. And it's really about just having the understanding as well as what energetically some of these things represent. Like, what does the energy of food represent? What does the energy of money represent? What does the energy of sleep represent? Like, I always encourage you to break it down as far as you can go. And like with food and sleep, like that's how we regenerate, right? So it's like how often do we pause and do we understand what our needs are with physical regeneration? Some people are very good at that, and other people are very, they're so stimulated by other people or their environment that they forget to eat, or they forget when it's time to go to bed, or they allow distractions to overwhelm them. And it's about understanding, what uniquely you need to ground yourself, what uniquely you need in your physical energy versus your spiritual energy. And everyone is so different. Like some people are born with more physical energy. Some people are born with more mental energy or emotional energy. And that's a mixture of, your unique experiences as a soul and what you can retain and remember, and also what your family is doing to provide and bolster in their, understandings that they can pass on to you. So we're dealt personal cards in life, but we're also dealt like tribal cards in life of our friends and family and how they support us. And that's why it's so important, because we flourish in certain environments and we sink in other environments. It's so important to get out into the world and understand what environments make you flourish, what environments support you, If a flower's not growing correctly, you gotta, repot that flower. So why wouldn't you repot yourself? And so it's about finding the friends that are most harmonious to you, a job that supports who you are, and you could slowly, work your way towards things. It doesn't have to be like, no, this friend doesn't, do it for me. See ya. This job doesn't do it for me. Bye, job. Like, oh, not happy with this. Okay, adios. It needs to be like a gradual knowing, sometimes a gradual change, a gradual acceptance. Of course you could like change it by the snap of your fingers too, but for people that are like, well, how am I supposed to change, like the must be nice kind of vibration, it's like you can just slowly ease into what your needs are. And we all have needs. And we're spiritually at our brightest in this reality when we are physically taking care of ourselves, because we are in a physical reality. So we spiritually can access things much more easier when physically we are well and we are taking care of ourselves. That means, the supportive environment. That means the healthy body. That means the healthy mind, the food, the sleep, using our body. And there's this gap that feels, so real when you talk about the physical body versus your energetic body or spiritual self, because you're like, oh, well, one feels more real than the other. And for some people, their spiritual bodies feel more real than their physical bodies. And for other people, their physical bodies feel they're like, nah, I'm not getting on concrete. This is what I can see, feel, and touch. Like this other stuff is mumbo jumbo. So we have these like very strong divides between the two, but really the spiritual body overlays on the physical body. So they're really one and the same. If you didn't have your spiritual self encased in your physical body wouldn't even be animated. It's what gives the spark of life to your vessel, your body. And when you are taking good care of your body, and we're always learning how to take better care of our body, you are able to more richly experience senses. You're more richly able to actually hear the things and feel the things that spirit is giving you, or you're actually able to see things more reliably. Sometimes when we're out of our bodies, we're able to have these spiritual experiences. And sometimes when people consume like alcohol, or like, there's a bunch of other like substances, right? They're pulled out of their body in a way, and they're just like, oh, there's a whole nother world. There's like a whole nother reality. And you hear about all about these psychedelic experiences. But really, to have that, because you can have experiences where you're seeing color and energy and geometrics and epiphanies. You can have that without anything. Like your brain produces things for you to have those experiences, but if you're not taking care of your brain, you're not strengthening how you work with yourself, you can't have those experiences reliably. So like if your health's affected, same thing. So the body can give you exactly that. The body can teach you about what like matter looks like from an energetic level, or the geometrics, or the feelings, or these understandings within past, present, and future. All of that is 100% obtainable with your physical body on your side. And when you leave your physical body, you're able sometimes to understand, wow, there's so much more than I can even perceive. And so you kind of have to experience both sides of things, but ultimately the greatest power. And when leaders or teachers or people who have done this work reliably for a long time are stepping in their path, they have command of their physical body. They do, and they talk about it, even if they are going with like um health inconsistencies within their life. They're very on top of like, I'm figuring out what's going on, I'm making adjustments, because they understand that their energy has to be sustainable in order to continue. So it's very important that the student, as well as the teacher or the master, is constantly assessing their body's energy so they can take on more, or they can just simply balance and heal and restore what they're currently uptaking. And so it really just starts with self-care, the next ascension for yourself. And so we talk about self-care so much within spiritual development, and it really goes back to the body. So for some people, like, they need to be more their physical body more, so they might all of a sudden up their exercise regimen, or they might be connected to nature more, like they feel like they need the sun or the moonlight energy more, or they feel like there's certain stones that ground them, certain things of the earth, or even with food, there's certain minerals, um, or there's certain things that their body just feels very clear and clean on. So if you're feeling centered, clear, and clean, that's a really good indication that your energy goes, yes, I need this. Yes, I need this. Um, we don't want to feel too up in the air, and we don't want to feel too heavy. We want somewhere in between. When we're grounded, we're just balancing the energies. And when we are raising our vibration, we are balancing the energies to a certain frequency so we can work with the energies, not because we're trying to get up too high. In fact, the spirit world, when they are working with us and talking to us, so our loved ones, our guides, angels, etc., they are actually coming down, and they're finding a way to match a vibration. So there's a balancing act that happens. So there is, a frequency that resonates between yourself and, the spirit, what you're working with, who you're working with. And so there has to be that balancing, because if they're too quick, because their vibration is not physical, so it vibrates much faster than our world, we might not be able to hear them. We might not be able to see them. We not be able to feel them. And in turn too, like, if we're to drag down, like, let's say we've had a rough day, or we're not feeling well, or if we're sick, our body's dragging us down. And so even though, like, a reading might have all the normal indicators, if you're tired, if you're not feeling good, you can't get your energy up to a certain level, and you might go, oh, they're showing me this, they're telling me this, but I don't seem to understand. My apologies. And for every reader, there are moments like that. Oh, they're telling me this, I don't hear it quite clearly. Oh, they're showing me this, I can't see the full thing. And it's usually an indication that we're not focused. And usually it's because there's something that's off with our energy, whether it is emotionally or physically, or, the mental focus. But usually it's related to something emotionally or physically that we can't normally balance an energy that we normally work with. So it's all about balancing our energy. And what do you need to do that? Some people need red meat to balance their energy. Some people need to eat vegan to balance their energy. Everyone's entirely different. Like, no one size fits all. We all have different constitutions, with what we need to clear our system or to bolster our system. Okay. So someone is talking about, like, sleep, because we're talking about, like, physical energies and how they support our spiritual self. So Jennifer is saying, this last month or so, I've been waking up at night and my mind and thoughts don't let me sleep. How do I stop the sleeplessness? Okay, well, it could be for a variety of reasons that's happening. But sometimes people, so I'm just going to answer it from, like, the spiritual sector first. Sometimes people wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and it is a unique hour where people kind of around the age of 40, sometimes their hormones are producing, just their hormones are changing, and it's actually a routine thing sometimes to wake up at that time, whether it's to go to the bathroom or you're up for 30 minutes or an hour. And so that can happen at certain spikes. But the spiritual answer is you can take that time to journal. You can take that time to just sit in the dark. You can take that time to just get up and stretch, and you give yourself like a mini reset. But what you have to do is get out of an energy that's repetitious. And so you said yourself, all of a sudden, my mind doesn't let me sleep. So I would like make sure that you stretch your body. Okay, because you want to change state, change the vibration. And immediately when you move your body, your mind has to change as well, because your mind switches from I'm thinking this to okay, let's get up. Okay, I hope this works, right? So immediately you are in a different state of mind, even if you're just getting up out of bed. And you don't have to go far, or you could just go downstairs. But I would invite you to, disengage from stimulus, and to get back to a really, really just simple, neutral state within yourself. Um, and so that means if you have to sit with yourself and think, get up out of bed in a new position, or sit up in your bed in a new position if you're not getting up out of bed for whatever reason. Let's say you return to bed and you still feel that way. And so make sure you're sitting up, or you're sitting in a different position. And then when you start to get sleepy, if you do, then lie back down. So your body goes, when I'm tired, I lay down. When I'm tired, laying down equals sleep for me. If I want to think, then I sit up and I think. And what's great is it starts to make your body not so scattered. It gives your body like symbols on how to work with your own energy. So basically, you go, okay, mind, if you want to think, then I'm going to sit you up and we're going to think. And then the body will respond with, but I'm so tired. Why would I want to sit up? I want to go back to sleep. And so then you sit up and you go, what do I really want to think about? And your mind will go, okay, these are all the things you've ignored. And maybe you do have to process that for a second. Maybe that's the only time you let yourself process that, if your brain wakes you up. And if that's the case, then it is journaling time. You have to get that out of your system. Or you have to, during the day, give yourself time to get it out of your system. But first, you got to find what you're getting out of your system. And if that's the only time where you can figure it out, then you need to do that. If you find yourself sitting up and you already know what's in your system and is eating away at you and making you think and think and think, you'll go, okay, well, I'm tired. Why am I sitting up? Like, I know what this is. And if you already know what it is, then you're not going to give it that much importance, because you're like, I can do this anytime. I can do this anytime. Right. And maybe it isn't something super pertinent. And you go, you know what? I'm just going to go back to sleep. So you basically engage the mind and go, what is going on? Yeah, not so important. Or you go, what is going on? No, that's really important. I really need to get this out of my system. Okay. So there's nights where I've been up where I just go, whatever, I have to go back to sleep, whether it's waking up from a dream, whether it's having to go to the bathroom, whatever. Right. And then there's other nights where I go, oh my gosh, I need to write this down. And I might sometimes, there's it's very rare, but there's been a couple, nights where I'll get up at like 4 or something, and I'll just go like, I need to journal that. And for whatever reason, I'm now up the rest of the day. And it was almost like my energy needed that to some degree. It just needed to be up at 4 a.m. It needed to be awake. And sometimes the body and the spirit is saying, you have to wake up. You have to realize this. You have to wake up and realize this. And sometimes to wake up and realize that involves, our body doing something different. The spirit is enacting something different within our body. Okay. So, so Jennifer, I really just, I really, really suggest, yes, getting up, sitting up, walking around, and asking yourself while you're walking around, okay, if I'm going to ruminate, let's change how I'm doing this. And then you might find, again, this heaviness in your body, and you're like, actually, I'm really tired, or the overwhelming need to understand and heal and acknowledge and be aware of what is rising up in your body. So, very, very important. And during that time, really, really try to not, like I said, no cell phones. Uh, if you can, have more dim lights. Make it so that the body can still relax into understanding what it needs without distraction, or relax back into sleep. Okay. So I'm going to put it like that. Just cradle yourself during that time, but we'll see what need is really coming to the surface. Okay, so we're going to go into readings in just a second. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And hello to you. Hello to Cara. Hello to Tina. Hello to Tammy. Hello, everybody. It's so important, because that's the whole thing in the matter. The spiritual body and the physical body, our energetic self and our physical self, they are one and the same. Our spiritual self came into this body and said, hey, we're going to experience these challenges, or I have this type of body this lifetime. Okay, like, I need to work with it. I need to work with it. Sometimes I think of the last thing I'm going to say, I think of it's kind of like a metaphor. I think like that our bodies are like spaceships. I know that sounds kind of out there, but it's like we have, leased a ship, and we're flying around in the universe on this rock. That's Earth, just floating through the cosmos. And, we've been given this ship, and every ship has certain capabilities. Every ship has, like, these latent abilities that we have yet to understand about ourselves, about the ship, that we've leased. And some are more obvious than others. Sometimes there's ships around us that look more flashy, that, let's say their latent abilities have been uncased, unshed, or whatever, have been identified, and we just go, oh, I wish I had that ship. I wish my ship could do that. And really, it's like this ever unfolding mechanism that we can always upgrade, that we can repair, that we can do add-ons, within reason, because we're in this physical realm. But think about it, like, if you had a ship, would you let that ship, like, deteriorate, or would you work on that ship, and would you fix that ship? And would you understand that ship if that was your one vehicle and your one vessel? If you had another metaphor, one car for your entire life, would you let it, deteriorate, or would you continue to upgrade it? And, you give it a new paint job, you could, reupholster it, you could put in a new engine. Like, you have one car your entire life, or one spaceship your entire life, and you can and this is your vehicle to go around in the universe for now. So what do you want to do with that, right? What do you want to do with your vehicle? That's how I think about it. And our vehicles are very sensitive, so we're always kind of going like, wow, that can do that, that wasn't in the manual. It's like, yeah, we're writing the manual as we go. Okay, so let's go into readings. People, please, everyone, pop down your numbers. Ask for a reading. If you'd like it, it lets me know that you're consenting. So I always look for that. And we'll start pulling some cards and pulling some energy within that. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone coming in. All right, so I'm going to take a drink of my water, and away we go. I'm drinking it's like electrolytes and wheatgrass and water. That's why I have like a little mixer. Sometimes that wheatgrass makes me feel more balanced. Okay. Kevin says, where can we get these upgrades? My ship is a little beat up. Well, hey, that wheatgrass, that upgrades me. It gives me the mineral support, helps with my digestion, helps with my skin, helps with my energy levels. It's such a great detox. It really is. I don't drink it all the time, but sometimes I feel like I just want to, like, I don't know, shed, and it helps me do that on a wonderful digestive level. Okay, so these upgrades are anything, to answer you, Kevin, are anything that helps you balance your body. Mineral support is really, really important. I talk a lot about the salt baths. The salt helps you shed things within your field and within your physical body that you don't need, and it helps you to replenish and ground. I know a ton of people, especially energy sensitive people, who feel so much different after they do salt baths, like a full salt bath or a foot bath, and they feel like themselves again. So, an upgrade is neutralizing yourself so you can think clearly. So then you can actually build on the upgrade. We can't upgrade if we're scattered. Okay. So the upgrade is sharpening your mind. The upgrade is becoming more sensitive. And so these upgrades are in classes, or we're coming into our own power by meditating, by focusing our mind, by making, conscious efforts and lists and goals for ourselves and say, this is the type of person I want to be. How do I get there? And the journey of that and obtaining that energy and having that energy, stepping into that energy, that is yourself upgrading your own energy. And sometimes those upgrades are physical. We strengthen our body, our immune system is stronger. We stand a little taller, our frame, our core is stronger. You can withstand much more when your immune system and core is stronger, just on that physical level. But then our emotional level, we're releasing energy from the past. We are sometimes cutting cords and coming back into our own power. We're releasing people's influence on us. Again, we're stepping into our self-belief and our willpower of, yes, I can do it and it will be okay. So it's like these are the upgrades. It's the energy that we hold and act on and what we believe. And it's not just what we tell ourselves, it's what we actually do. And when we actually do it, we become it. When we believe it and do it, we become it. And that is an energy upgrade, my friend. No one can take that away from you. You just are. Okay, cool. Yes, and my shit feels beat up too sometimes, Kevin. So it's a work in progress. All right. So Tina and Kara, let's do your numbers. And if you have any questions along with it, you let me know. Okay, so we're gonna go with Kara first, and then we're gonna go to Tina. Okay, so Kara, you're in attitude 5, and then you are in a cycle of 3, personal day 7, and then you are a life path 8. Let me just double check on that. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so when people are in cycles of 3, I always like to showcase the positivity and potential of that 3 energy, because 3 energy, just like 5 energy, honestly, is all about having fun and exploring. They're very extroverted numbers. 5 is a little bit more of, I'm going to be free, I need to do me, and it's time to change things up. So it's a little bit more, I guess, consequential. 3 is a little bit less consequential, and it's more about enjoying life and just kind of seeing where life takes you and opening up your social network if you want, opening up the way that you do things where things come with a little bit more ease and luck. That 3 energy is really, really just helpful energy if you embrace it. Um, it really goes into all things that you're looking to expand within your life. And 3 has such lighthearted energy. I mean, it's the energy of comedy, it's the energy of creativity, it's the energy of expression. So if you put yourself out there, it's rewarded within this year. It shows you, hey, look what can happen if you just kind of talk a little bit, if you socialize a little bit, and you're rewarded. So I always, always highly suggest, if you have felt more introverted or if you're like overthinking things, just have fun and put yourself out there. It's a great time, again, like I said, to meet people. So, and if you don't know how to meet people, online, like online classes, or doing stuff where, you know, even locally, there's stuff like within an hour away of a subject or an interest that you have. You can meet like minded people very, very easily, or you can actually have people be very attracted to your energy easily. You could have virtually nothing in common, but since you're radiating that three kind of fun, carefree vibe, people are like, oh, yeah, like, why not? Right. So it's kind of funny because people interview very well, like with even job expansion and career. People interview very well when they're in cycles of 3 to 5. There's like a pocket where people kind of start radiating like this energy of, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to be something different. And people go, all right, yeah, 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 you are. Well, since we're looking for someone to change, or we're looking for change too, well, then come on board, and people just don't overthink it. That's why I'm saying it's a really, really fun number to have if you embrace the funness of it. Okay. So lean into that. Let's see, what month is it? It is August. So interesting. Okay. So you're in a 2 month. You just went into 2 months. So, for instance, last month was July. So, if you can understand, in July last month, it felt like there was like relief again. Sometimes during the year we can get scattered, we can get overwhelmed. It's like we have these highs and lows within a year, if you can understand that, Kara. And last month, July, it felt like you could focus on yourself again. And so it's going to deepen this month. It's going to call you to focus on yourself in actually a more deeper way now. July was about getting your head straight again, and August is now about getting your emotions straight. And so, as long as you are allowing yourself to process things as they come up and to feel so, like, embrace being a little angry, embrace being a little sad, embrace being happy, embrace it and go, like, good, okay. These are signs that let me know about what I'm doing. Is if it's not working, if it is working, it lets me know about what this person is providing me. Um, it's all okay. Good. I'm glad you understand this, Kara. It's all going to help be a compass as you continue to move forward. So don't think this month is going to deter you. This month actually is to help you rocket, you working on yourself and getting back into a groove. It will be emotional because you're in a 2 month in August, and 2 months are always emotional. But if you look at that as a gift, you can actually have immense spiritual growth and to feel like you're even more on fire. Okay. So I talked about you being in a cycle 3. Well, the fun thing is sometimes when we have double numbers for that year. And so in September, that's what I'm trying to say. In September, you're in a 3 again. So September is a great time to just have fun. Have fun. If you can, it doesn't have to be like an overseas thing or out of state, but if you can, like around September, like travel, do something fun with your friends, or put yourself in an environment to meet new people. Um, I'm telling you, like, luck is going to smile at you and send you some new friends. So do some of the release work and the healing work and a lot of self-care, and love yourself, and do things to ground yourself this month, and then enjoy, and go out and celebrate that you've processed a lot of stuff and let a lot of stuff go. That's where things are. Okay, so things are actually ready to ascend. Just do some work this month. Okay, don't think it's like, well, we're going back down. It just means, okay, we're doing everything that we need to continue the rocket to go up. So that's what I'm going to give to you. And continue to be in a career where you do have autonomy, where you can train people, where you can lead people, where you can manage people. If you don't have that autonomy, you're going to be very frustrated in your career. Okay. You need that autonomy. All right. So let's see here. So Tina is next. All right. Tina. Attitude 8. personal day, 8. And then we have 4, 5, life path 4, I believe. Let me just double check. 8, 8, and got 4. Oh, yep, no, that's right. That's right. Okay, cool. And then you're in a cycle of 6. All right. So, okay, Tina, cycle of 6, and then we're in August. Okay. We're in August. Cool. So, if you can understand this, Tina. So last month for you, you were in a month of 4. So you're in a year of 6, but in July you were in a month of 4. And so, if you can understand, Tina, that things were a little bit more like slower going, with some of the things that you're working on. If you can understand that, I know that's a little vague, but work with me. Just work with me here. And then if you can understand too, there were some house projects that were surfacing, whether things needed to be repaired in the house or that you started looking into working on house projects around this time. If you can understand that, Tina. And then we're going into, for you in August, into a 5 month. And so that will exasperate the house projects if they haven't been looked at. So just heads up with that. And also, it really makes one feel like I need to change my house, whether I have this kind of hankering feeling to move, like my house doesn't continue to support me, or I really have to start changing things within my house for them to work. So it kicks up the month of August for you, the need for things to be different. It's also a great time for traveling. So a lot of people around this time, they need to cut loose in order to feel more balanced within their energy. So sometimes, again, it's like I need massive change within my home, or I need to take a vacation. And that's how I reset and refuel my energy. So if you can understand too, having a vacation in the month of August, plan for, and something that you are looking to do, because that's in the works with house or the travel, let me know about that. And let's see. It's important that you are allowing yourself to consistently like pat yourself on the back. I know that's like a funny thing to say, but you have an attitude 8. So you're at attitude 8, you're a personal day 8, and you are a life path 4. So Tina, it's important to always pat yourself on the back because 8s work very, very hard, whether they have, progress and results or whether they are just laboring away. An 8 vibration is always looking how to do things better. It's always looking how to perfect something. It's always looking to understand something at the minute details. So there's a lot of overworking, there's a lot of overachieving, whether it's ambition or like striving, right? So the funny thing is when you start to kind of appreciate all that hard work you're doing, or to understand like, hey, like I actually have a lot of skills. I actually am amazing. I actually go above and beyond. What happens is that quells some of the overthinking of the mind and the over need for more and more and more, and it balances your emotions and that repetition kind of, like I said, of the mind, and it makes you more grounded, and you kind of are at this place with yourself, like with your peace on an upgraded level, on a different level. So that's what I really recommend for your energy. If you can get into gratitude, whether it's journaling or meditation or some type of practice where you can actually even review, like you don't even have to do pure gratitude, but I want you to review all the accomplishments that you've done this year already and last year and in the past 5 or 10 years. And I think you'd surprise yourself. And if we can get more into that energy, I really feel like there would be a lot more sense of peace of you're like, hmm, I've done all these things. So why am I planning, and thinking about what's next when really I have these capabilities? Why don't I just do this now? That's what I'm saying, like, Tina, you don't have to wait and plan for the next thing. There's actually things right now that I really think you can do, like, with your skills. I actually think, like, you could help people in business with their skills. I think you could help people with volunteering with projects. I think that you have such a strong capability to help, people succeed and to give people really practical knowledge, and, you'd go above and beyond. So it's just like, it's not what's next, it's what can you do now? Because you can do a lot now. And you're quite proficient and amazing. So I want to get more into that energy. And you gotta kind of do that with the gratitude. All right. Get into the energy of gratitude and just put your step forward. So Tina, if you're around, let me know if that makes sense. Some people bounce around. Okay. Kevin, cool. Let's do Kevin. June 10th, 1963, general read. Okay, cool. All right, attitude 7. That makes sense, Kevin, with what I know. That makes sense. Okay. Let me just double check the math. So you are an attitude 7, a personal day 10, a life path 8. Okay, and then you are in a cycle of 5. Okay, cool. So, being in a cycle of 5, Kevin, it is a unique invitation to change. 5 is all about the energy of change. Okay, it's the energy of, like, we have to shed. And so we are either forced to shed, or we are, step by step in the process of changing because we know we want different things. And so, we start changing our career, we start looking at our values different, or we start, again, reevaluating relationships or changing relationships. People sometimes move around this time again, whether it's the year before or around this time. So there's this, like, immense understanding that something has to change, something has to go, something has to give. So there are going to be certain things that are going to rock you this year for the better, but you kind of can't always see them coming. So let me see. You are in. Okay, so you're. Okay. Right, 1 second. I'm just doing the level of math. So in September, for instance, whether you have something planned or not, there is going to be something that helps transform you in September. So a lot of times when I see someone with, like, they're in a 5 year and then they have, like, a 5 month, and so that would be September for you. What happens is I see sometimes there is major change with job, or I sometimes see people signing up for, like, certifications where, they literally take on a hobby that changes their life and lifestyle, but it starts that month. And so it's like a devoted activity, right? Um, that they have to continue to show up for. Or there's something significant within the family that forces you into a certain realization. So just heads up, you're going to experience something in September that helps enact even further change this year. So I'm just giving you that to be ready for. You are in you're in a 4 right now because it is yep, you're in a 4 right now because it is August. My brain is scattering. And so this month is about the home. So home repairs, rearranging the home, or figuring out what you need for a more routine and healthy schedule. 4 is all about foundations and routines. So a lot of times it deals with the home, or it deals with schedules, of changing the schedule for the better. All right. Sometimes we're forced for schedule change, but it's all about repetition and how things support us. So that will be coming up this month. Heads up. I'm just being as general as I can because you asked for a general one. And it's indicative of that. So you're an attitude 7. And so when someone's an attitude 7, they prefer to be a little bit more mysterious. They prefer to not go into all the details sometimes. So like 3s, they love details. They want to go into all. 7 is the opposite. They're more reserved. They like to observe. They like to, sit back and to mull things over. And they don't like to show all their cards. They don't. They'll do that for people who earn it. But 7s really like just to think things through at their own pace. And, they do like to have things will be a little bit more ambiguous or general in the beginning so they can go, is this for me? Okay. The great thing is you have a personal day of 1. And so when someone has a personal day of 1, Kevin, they have this light. So like 1s, 9s, and 3s and 6s, they have this light. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah. I would say those numbers have a light in the personal day number category, and it attracts people to them. And with the 1 energy, it attracts people to you because it's leadership energy. It stands out. Even when people can't understand it, on a subconscious level, you radiate leadership. So people will like see you compared to others more easily. Like if you're interviewing for jobs, or if there's a lot of people around you and everyone has an opinion, your opinion will just naturally stand out more easily than others. Your presence will stand out more easier than others. And that is a gift in a sense where you can get your point across and people will listen. And as long as you're confident, sometimes when you're not, people will still listen, but as long as you're confident, you will radiate an energy where people will just listen a little bit more. And you can use that as being a champion for others. You really can. You can use that with actually persuading others, because people just go, you know what, I will consider that. Okay, so that's something that can be used for yourself and others for good, absolutely. And lastly, you are a life path 8. And as a life path 8, I say to all the 8s out there, if you have to be in some type of role, I know it's very general again, but it's very true because these archetypes in certain placements exist for everybody. As an 8, if you don't have autonomy to either have your own business, to lead, or to manage, you will always be restless. And so, like that 8 energy, it's the number of business and entrepreneurship. Okay. So you can help other people succeed and use this energy, but you have to, again, have flexibility where the people who hired you acknowledge your talents and skills to such a high degree that they're like, go do what you need to do. And if you have that within life, like within your friends or your partners, or people around you, you will always succeed much more. You need to have people who trust you and support you and acknowledge all the hard work you do and the unique perspectives you have. If you don't have that, you will feel beaten down a lot. 8 energy is, as well as 7, is very perceptive energy. And so they're able to see through the BS. And so sometimes people think when you are communicating or sharing with them that some of the truth that you see is a little harsh. And so the 7 would like actually cause you to back up a little bit more. The 8 actually would cause you to lean in a little bit more. But so you communicate as a 7, so you don't always lean into it. But you need somebody who values, you need people who value the truth, the observation and the perspectives that you bring to the table and allow you to share who you are. And if you don't have that, it will continue to have you close up. And you are one to be a little bit more reserved on average. So I really, really just, I will lean into relationships that really highlight that, encourage yourself to pick up the phone and to strengthen and bolster relationships like that. is very, very important, and to continue to be a part of projects where you can call the shots or even create, because you do have the energy for it. I'm giving you that. Hopefully that makes sense. And oh my gosh, we are all out of time. I'm going to do a quick card pull for somebody. Hopefully that made sense, Kevin. And let's see. Thank you, Monique. That's very kind. I'm going to pull a card for you, Monique. Kevin, sounds like it's going to get interesting. Thank you so much. I'm not sure what to do with the 8 energy yet. 8 energy is it's truth energy. So the 8th energy is very physical energy. It's very physical energy, and it's all about how can I create? And I am which I create. And so if there is resistance or uncertainty, then that is magnified in how I create. And if there is confidence and hard work, that is magnified with how I create. So with 8, it's actually high consequence and high success, or big dips and high surges. It deals with money a lot. So, and it's when someone has an 8, like in a life path placement. That's a tongue twister. See, I can't even say it. Life path placement. When someone has an 8 in that placement, it also indicates it's late bloomer energy, because 8s have to accumulate much more than the average person, and they usually overthink a lot. Okay, and so it's just a matter of how can you do something that you feel like is important, and just what is it going to take for it to happen, and just to listen every step of the way what you need to do. And 8s are all about showing up and bucking up. Okay. And if that can't be done, that means there needs to be more growth in other areas. And then so you just keep walking. And as long as the 8 keeps walking, they get everything done. It's a tall order to keep walking, right? If you're going through hell, just keep going. That saying, it's a tall order, but you can accomplish so much putting it like that. So just put your mind on something, and that 8 energy will show you exactly what you need and exactly what you want to work at, and what you have to work at, and it's a mirror of reality. And like I said, it's a little bit difficult to have your reality mirrored at you constantly, but if you can continue to walk, do good things come. Okay. This is for Monique. Summer song card. All right, Monique, it's all about having fun. It's all about taking a break, having fun, to not worry, and to really celebrate your wins, as well as to lean into relaxation. Sometimes we need relaxation just as much as hard work, and just as much as the hustle. So this is the time to regenerate your battery, have fun. And with that said, everybody, thank you so much. I will see you on Friday, and we're going to be having Felicia Grant on the show for the interview series. So if you have questions about psychic mediumship, healing, or soul coaching, spiritual coaching, Felicia is your lady. She's wonderful. We will see you then. Please, everybody, go with love, luck, light, laughter, and don't forget to live. See you on Friday. Bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.